Results of the Eurasian Economic Union's goals that were set 5 years ago for the participating countries have been concluded. A full-fledged common market for goods, services and capital has been formed. Along with mutual trade, exports to the third countries' markets were increased. The activities and results were analyzed. It is always easier to survive when you are in a union and in the structure of an integration association. There is no alternative. The right path of integration set by Nursultan Abishevich Nazarbayev 25 years ago has been successfully implemented. One of the main areas of the Eurasian integration is to bring industrial cooperation to a new level. For this purpose, a Eurasian network project will be launched. The project involves setting up a digital platform that allows companies to sell their services and products and find new customers within the union. This mutual cooperation helps us to develop and maintain industrial potential. Nowadays, there is a fierce competition in industry. Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Armenia and Kyrgyzstan are developing and improving their industrial production. The EEU is of great interest among third countries. Free trade zones are already in operation with Vietnam and Iran. There are framework agreements with China and Cuba. Applications have been submitted by 10 more countries, including Egypt and India. Any business is interested in joining the market of maximum capacity. Our collective market totals 184 million people. More than 50 countries and international organizations are interested in establishing institutional relations with the Eurasian Economic Union. This suggests that the authority of the EEU and its importance in the international arena have increased significantly. Kazakhstan and Armenia are demonstrating successful cooperation within the Eurasian Economic Union. The economic integration allowed the countries to double the volumes of trade. Kazakhstan delivers to Armenia products derived from grains, paper and cardboard, as well as pharmaceutical and chemical goods. Items such as power transformers, cables, iron wire and steel works made in Kazakhstan are also in demand in Armenia. Armenia exports more than 500 jewelry variations to Kazakhstan. Trade turnover between Kazakhstan and Armenia has increased by about $2.5 million, which is 28% increase from 2017. The trade value in 2018 was enhanced by 50% to 52%. In fact, the trade turnover between the countries is increasing every year in general, as well as by separate product categories. The range of products exported from Kazakhstan to Armenia is constantly changing. It shows that there are promising niches which are being taken over by various companies from year to year. Kazakhstan and Armenia are planning to continue enhancing trade cooperation in order to improve the economic performance of the two countries. Meanwhile, trade turnover between Kazakhstan and Russia as part of the EAEU is also increasing. For instance, 90% of the output of power transformer plant in West Kazakhstan region is being exported to Russia. Our plant expands its export. In 2019, we plan to implement approximately 10,000 transformers. Starting from next year, we plan to launch the production of dry-type cast resin transformers. Subsequently, a new workshop for the production of panel radiators is launched, which has no analogues in the Commonwealth of Independent States. Last year, the trade turnover between the West Kazakhstan region and the Eurasian Economic Union countries amounted to $700 million. Experts say that the trade value is growing every year. Local businesses export their products to more than 100 countries. When it comes to the exports and imports, we can say that the number of export-oriented enterprises is increasing every year. Let's say the total turnover is $6.9 billion, then out of the total, the export deliveries amount to $6.1 billion. The Eurasian Expert Club highlight that the EEU opens up new opportunities that need to be used for mutual benefits and the further development of both national economies and the economy of the association. This is the driving force of the integration idea, say the experts. Kazakhstan is set to increase the exports of meat to Iran, Bahrain, Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. Jambil region is the leading mutton exporter among other regions in the country. The region exported 44% of the total 3,800 tons of mutton that Kazakhstan had exported last year. At the moment, a total of 900 tons of beef and mutton has been exported to other countries. A special program is introduced to increase the export potential of meat from Jambil region. As part of the Sibaga program until 2027, we are planning to import 36,000 cattle from abroad. This year, we are set to purchase 4,000 cattle. There are a total of 26 feedlots in the region. Their annual capacity is more than 30,000 cattle, which means that all feedlots in the region are capable to have 30,000 cattle at a time. 4,000 tons of meat are planned to be exported from Almaty region this year, which is 3 times higher compared to 2018. Regional enterprises produce almost 360,000 tons of meat per year. Products made in Kazakhstan are available to Iranian consumers. Within the last 6 months, Kazakhstan exported several consignments of beef from Akmola region to Tehran based on the Memorandum on Agricultural Cooperation signed in 2016. At the moment, meat produced in Kazakhstan is delivered to 4 meat processing plants in Tehran. According to importers, the Kazakh products meet the halal requirements and have been proven to contain no GMO. The first shipments of beef from Kazakhstan showed that the country is a reliable partner. Cooperating with Kazakhstan is more beneficial for us. The products are delivered by air, which is time-saving and helps preserve the quality of meat. We receive about 70 tons of meat per flight. In the next few years, Kazakhstan and Iran are planning to increase trade up to $3 billion between the countries. The import of fresh meat and livestock by Iran will make up a large portion of the turnover. The parties have signed a number of required veterinary certificates to import beef, mutton, and byproducts. Shipments of meat from Kazakhstan had an impact on Iran's consumer market. Iranian meat is quite expensive and is not affordable for many people. Meat from Kazakhstan provides more options for consumers and enhances competition. More meat products will be shipped to Tehran in the upcoming 2 months. Since the beginning of the year, Iran imported 500 tons of meat from Kazakhstan. In general, Kazakhstan exported about 33,000 tons of meat to 11 countries in 2018. Kazakhstan is actively developing projects aimed at diversifying its agricultural fields. The country plans to increase crop yields by increasing the field size and planting new crops. The move will indirectly contribute to the expansion of the export potential of the country. In Turkestan region, the use of modern farming technologies is expected to triple the productivity of cotton. New agricultural equipment, which can simultaneously perform several functions at once, such as covering the land with foil, planting seeds, and installing the drip irrigation system, are being used. With the help of new technologies, we plan to significantly increase productivity. For example, usually 25 to 30 centners are yielded from 1 hectare in Kazakhstan. Thanks to the new equipment, we can get 70 centners. In total, there would be 7 to 8 tons of cotton. It also saves water by 5 times. This is the only farm in Turkestan region that uses the technology, which is unique to the southern Kazakhstan area. The total investment cost for the project is 5 billion tenge. Currently, only 2,000 hectares of field are being used to grow cottons, and in the long term, the area will be expanded to 5,000 hectares. Technology can be used in all areas where cotton is grown. One of the technology's main advantages is that it does not require cultivation. It is enough to plant the seeds and wait for them to ripen. The seed ripen in 120 to 130 days. Then the seeds are harvested using the technology. This year, almost 40,000 hectares of areas in Almaty region were allotted for arable land. Farmers in the region have discovered new varieties of potatoes imported from Europe. The farmers from one of the large farms in Kerbulak district are expanding the area for potato chips. Last season, they planted the new potatoes as an experiment. Last year, they planted potato chips for the first time. Seeds were brought from Talgar. Last season, we had a good harvest, specifically 200 centners per hectare. Potato chips are in great demand. Farmers in Almaty are focusing on planting new crop varieties. In the future, they are planning to expand the varieties. For this purpose, a service procurement center has been established in the region, where the latest technologies are applied. Kazakhstan launched a scholarship program aimed to attract foreign students in the country's universities. The program was developed by Kazakhstan's Ministry of Education, which allocated nearly 160 educational grants for students, including 125 master's program grants. The initiative is aimed to increase the number of foreign students studying in Kazakhstan and promote the country's higher education in the global educational community. Meanwhile, Kazakh youth are also provided with opportunities to study in foreign universities. 14,000 local students studied abroad within 8 years of the Academic Mobility Short-Term Project. Over this time, about 4,000 foreigners studied in Kazakh universities.
And one of the things that I noticed
Приоритет, конечно, прежде всего это
Priority professions include technical majors and humanities. Another advantage for foreign students is that there is an opportunity for them to learn Russian language in Kazakhstan. I would like to mention that there are a number of aspects which should be taken into account. We need to make sure that the higher educational infrastructure is in place that includes facilities and faculties which are capable of teaching these students. Another key objective for us is to adapt our educational content for international students. We also need to make sure that Kazakh universities are capable to provide English language educational programs.
ставить образовательные программы на английском языке.
The Kokbar Kazakh national game has become the highlight of the program of the Nature and Hunting Festival in Fontainebleau in France. Performances of athletes of the Kokbar Youth League beautifully decorated the traditional event. The French spectators learned about the history and rules of the ancient nomadic horse game Kokbar.
Конечно, это, на мой взгляд, это большая реклама для нашей страны.
Of course, in my opinion, this is a big advertisement for our country as well as our traditions because France is one of the countries that honor and love the traditions. Everyone asks how the game is called and where it came from. We say that this is an ancient Kazakh tradition shaped into a modern form.
Что это Kokbar, наша древняя традиция, но уже в современном виде.
The French public has been introduced to a modern type of Kokbar. Even in the simplified Kokbar game, the audience admired the mix of wrestling, racing, and playing. They opine that Kokbar is the step version of polo. In Fontainebleau, there is a community of friends of Kazakhstan which knows your country well and sincerely wishes to show the history and traditions of this large and beautiful country, which is not so well known here in France. Such initiatives allow showing the facets of the Kazakh culture to people who appreciate it. It was great. I've never seen something like this in France. It is a very good performance. We congratulate the athletes on this achievement. Kokbar has won the hearts of spectators who expect to witness again the national game of Kazakhs in their homeland. A dowry is a property that a woman's parents give to the man she marries. According to tradition, the parents used to prepare the dowry quite early when the daughter is still a child. Particular attention was paid to the completeness of the dowry. Back then, women's relatives used to assist her to prepare the dowry. Today, brides use services of professionals who are involved in preparing the dowry. Asyel Uskinbayeva has been working in this area for 5 years. She is a needlewoman, like her mother. Thus, she decided that she can apply her skills in a delicate work such as preparing the dowry. In her work, Asyel harmoniously intertwines traditions of antiquity and modern style. The craftswoman uses her unique style when sewing blankets, which are an integral part of any dowry. Her products are different from many other works.
Біздің солтүстік жағында көп түрі жоқ.
Preparing the dowry has its own challenges. We don't have many types of bedspreads in the north, although we have different size bedspreads. In the west, specifically in the Mangistau region, there are different types of bedspreads, which is very interesting to me as a craftswoman. There are also several types of pillows. All this is an important part of the woman's dowry. Work on embroidery as well as preparing it is very interesting to me. I believe that it is very important not to forget traditions of the ancestors. Even in the 21st century, we must remember our roots.
Екі бас қосылып, бір жастықта қартайып деген сондай мысал.